Measuring carbon emission factors. In a world increasingly aware of the pressing need to combat climate change, measuring carbon emissions has become a critical endeavor. At the core of this measurement lies the concept of emission factors, which serve as essential tools in quantifying the amount of carbon dioxide equivalent, CO2e, released per unit of activity. Understanding emission factors is pivotal for governments, businesses, and individuals alike, as they provide the necessary framework to assess and mitigate our carbon footprints. Emission factors are essentially coefficients that represent the average emissions produced per unit of energy consumed or activity performed. For instance, when burning fossil fuels, different types of fuels yield varying amounts of CO2e. A gallon of gasoline emits a different quantity of carbon than a gallon of diesel or natural gas. This variability is crucial. It means that the choice of fuel can significantly impact overall emissions. Therefore, accurately measuring emissions requires a nuanced understanding of these factors, which can be affected by various elements such as fuel type, electricity grid composition, regional characteristics, and the specific processes involved. The fuel type is one of the most significant determinants of emission factors. For example, coal has a higher carbon content than natural gas, leading to greater emissions when burned for energy. This means that a power plant relying on coal will have a much higher emission factor compared to one powered by natural gas or renewable sources. The electricity grid also plays a crucial role. Grids that rely heavily on fossil fuels will generate higher emissions than those that incorporate substantial amounts of renewable energy. Thus, the geographical context, including the energy mix of a region, is vital in determining the emission factors applicable to that area. Furthermore, emission factors can vary based on specific processes involved in energy production or consumption. For instance, the emissions associated with manufacturing a product can differ depending on the efficiency of the machinery used, the technology in place, and even the practices adopted by the workers. These nuances highlight the complexity of measuring emissions accurately and the importance of selecting appropriate emission factors. National and international agencies, such as the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, and the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, DEFRA, in the UK, play an instrumental role in providing standardized emission factors. These organizations conduct extensive research and compile data to establish reliable emission factors that can be used by countries and corporations to assess their carbon footprints. Their work ensures that emission factors are based on the latest scientific findings and reflect the most accurate picture of emissions across different sectors and regions. However, the significance of using accurate and region-specific emission factors cannot be overstated. A carbon inventory that relies on generic or outdated emission factors can lead to misleading conclusions about a region's true emissions profile. Inaccurate data can result in ineffective policies and misguided strategies, ultimately hampering efforts to reduce emissions. Conversely, employing precise and localized emission factors enables more accurate carbon accounting, facilitating better data collection and analysis. This in turn leads to informed decision-making, allowing policymakers and businesses to implement effective strategies for emissions reduction. In summary, measuring carbon emissions through the lens of emission factors is not just a technical exercise. It is a vital component of our collective response to climate change. By understanding the intricacies of emission factors, including the influence of fuel type, electricity grids, and regional characteristics, we can create a more accurate carbon inventory. The contributions of agencies like the IPCC and DEFRA are invaluable in this process, as they provide the necessary data and frameworks for effective measurement. Ultimately, the pursuit of better emission factors paves the way for improved data, enabling us to make informed decisions that can lead to a more sustainable future. Thank you for watching this episode of the Ecopoli Carbon Accounting Masterclass. Every number we track, every footprint we reduce, and every decision we make brings us one step closer to a low-carbon future. Whether you're an individual, a business, or a community leader, your action matters. Stay curious, stay committed, and keep building the world we all deserve. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the next step in your sustainability journey. This is Ecopoli, decoding the climate economy, one story at a time.